Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I've gone ahead and unmuted Dr. Smith, who will also be co-hosting this presentation with me. I'm just going to briefly introduce myself and Dr. Smith, and then I'll let him take it from here. I've muted all participants upon entry, so make sure if I missed you for whatever reason that you mute yourself, and then when we get to the question and answer portion of the information session, you can go ahead and unmute yourself for questions. But during the presentation, please remain on mute and make sure that your camera is off unless you would like to be a part of the video recording of this session. My name is Giselle Oberly. I'm the program manager for the MS Accountancy program, and I'll let Dr. Smith introduce himself.
I'm Rod Smith. I'm the director of the MS and Accountancy program, and I thank everybody for giving up their Thursday evening. Cedric, you can ask questions about Z-Cheddar if you want as we get farther along. So we're going to go over a set of slides, and then we'll open it up for any questions you might have. Certainly you can type them into the chat at any time. So next slide, please, Giselle. Okay, for those of you that are interested in MS and Accountancy, our primary purpose is to help you get the CPA. We provide the extra hours needed to meet the 150-hour requirement for the CPA credential. And we'll go into that in more detail. But we do that over basically 2.5 semesters. If you come in the fall, you do 12 hours, 3 classes in the fall, 3 classes in the spring, and you finish up in our first summer session with 6 hours in 2 classes. If you come in in the spring, you'll do 12 hours in the spring, 6 hours in the first summer session. You'll get a break to travel around Europe or whatever, and then come back and finish up with 12 hours in the fall. In both cases, you can finish the program in under a year. Okay, we think that this program has several advantages. It's convenient. All of our classes are either nights or Saturdays, probably Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Many of you already know that CSULB is easy commuting distance from LA and Orange County, and all of the application process can be done online. So we try to make it as technologically enabled as we can.
Okay, so now we're going to jump into some of the application requirements. So I'm going to talk about not only what you have to submit as part of your application, but also the CalApply application and how that works, the 4 different quadrants in that application. So the general application requirements are a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited university. You do have to sit for a GMAT or GRE exam. There is some exceptions to that. So students that, well, we'll go a little bit more actually into those exceptions once we get to the GMAT GRE slide, but just know that most students have to sit for a GMAT GRE with a few exceptions, which we'll go into. All students will have to submit a resume. There is a video statement of purpose that is required and 2 letters of recommendation, and we'll talk about both those last requirements in more detail at a later slide. So the application process is through CalApply. The application opened as of October 1st. So as I mentioned, the application has 4 different quadrants, and we'll talk about what is required in all 4 of those quadrants. And I'll also let you know some sections that you can bypass to help the application process be faster so that you're not filling out information that we won't need from you. Finally, you're going to have to submit transcripts for all universities attended and official test scores. So we need official transcripts and official test scores. And as I mentioned, there is a possibility for GMAT GRE waivers, and we'll talk more about that. So this is what it looks like when you sign on to Cal State Apply. And after this session, I will email everyone that attended a link to this recording, as well as a link to this PowerPoint, and you'll be able to get more information on where to go to complete the application. But basically, once you log into Cal Apply, this is the screen that you will see. You will select the term that you're applying for. So for now, the only term that's open right now is fall 2019, and you'll select the graduate application. So when you get into Cal Apply, this is what everything looks like. These are the 4 quadrants that I mentioned. So there's personal information, academic history, supporting information, and program materials. And we're going to jump into each of those sections. So for the personal information, basically what we need is your demographic information and your contact information. So if once you submit the application, we need to contact you because something's missing, we're going to go use the email that you provide when you fill out this personal information section. For the academic history, this is important. There's some stuff that you can skip here for most people, and that's going to save you a lot of time. So first and foremost, colleges attended. You do have to enter all colleges that you've attended, whether it was after you graduated with your bachelor's or it was before when you were in high school and you did a community college. Any college or university you attended, you have to enter here. However, for transcript entry, this only applies to students that are currently in a degree program or are taking classes. So if you've already graduated, you're not currently taking any classes, you do not have to enter anything for transcript entry. You can leave that completely blank. So again, that only applies for students that are currently working on their undergraduate degree or whatever classes you're currently taking. If maybe you're taking 1 or 2 of the prerequisites, you would only enter whatever classes you're currently taking. For the GPA entries, you do have to fill that out, and you're going to fill in just your best guess. We're going to, as part of the application, when you submit your transcripts, we're going to calculate your GPA, so you don't have to worry about those numbers being exact because we verify them anyway. For standardized tests, if you've sat for your GMAT or GRE, you would enter your scores here. If you haven't sat for the test yet, you would just enter the date that you plan to sit for the test there. So the next section would be the 3rd quadrant, which is supporting information. For this quadrant, there's a lot that you can opt out of. So you can opt out of experience and you can opt out of achievements. There's nothing at all that you have to enter there. There aren't any documents that you have to upload either. So keep that in mind when you're completing the application. For the statement of purpose, it is required that you input something. However, we don't need a written statement of purpose. So in your case, as the example shows, what you would enter is, you can indicate that you will be submitting your video link in quadrant 4, or you can indicate that you will submit your video directly to the department. You just have to write anything there to let you move forward, but you don't actually have to write a statement of purpose written out there. So for the program materials, this is the meat of your application. This is what the department is really going to look at in order to review your file and see if you're admissible. So this is the most important section and where you will be entering most of the information. So this is, once you click on that program materials section, this is what it looks like. Under documents, you would upload a resume. We are also going to ask for the name and email of 2 recommenders. So you won't actually be submitting the letters of recommendation. You'll just be submitting the name and email of 2 recommenders, and the system will automatically email them. So just let your recommenders know that that email is coming once you enter their information there. Finally, the video statement of purpose is going to be included under the question section of the application. So that's going to be included here. So as I mentioned, I'll go into a little bit more detail about what's required for the letters of recommendation. So basically, we need, your recommenders should write a short summary of your history with that person. So maybe how they met you, if you sat in for one of their classes, which class you took with them, that type of thing, you know, what capacity do they know you in. They're going to want to give a detailed statement of the characteristics characteristics that they believe will enable you to excel in a graduate program. So why they think you would be successful in the MS Accountancy program, for example. They're also going to want to give a few specific descriptions of your contributions, or what you've brought to the organization or the classroom. So some specific examples are always good to include in these types of letters. And they're also going to want to give a strong closing statement saying that they recommend you for the MS Accountancy program. So this is just a general template. It doesn't mean that every letter of recommendation has to be exactly like this, but these are our recommendations. So if your recommender asks you, what types of things they need to write in that letter, this is what they should be including in those letters of recommendation. And again, the recommender could be either an academic recommendation, or it can be a professional recommendation. So either a faculty member or a core worker or a supervisor. The next thing we're going to talk about is the video statement of purpose. So instead of a written statement of purpose, like I mentioned, you will need to submit a video link. So it'll be a video YouTube link. You will highlight your top professional accomplishments as they relate to getting your MSA. You'll speak about that in your video. You'll also speak about what appeals to you most about getting an MSA at CSULB. And finally, you'll tell us about your future plans after you finish your graduate degree. So you will record that video and then make sure that you make the video public. And then you'll include that link in the 4th quadrant of your application. So the next section talks about GMAT GRE test waivers and the requirements. So for the MS Accountancy program, the only way to waive the GMAT GRE waiver, the GMAT GRE, is if you have completed an undergraduate degree in business administration or accountancy from an AACSB accredited university within the last 3 years with a 3.0 GPA. So if you feel that you meet those requirements and you want to apply for the waiver, you would submit a copy of your resume and a copy of your unofficial transcripts to the email that you see on the screen, msa@csulb.edu. Okay, so the final section is our frequently asked questions. So I will let Dr. Smith maybe go over those with you.
Okay, we sometimes get questions about whether or not the program could be completed as a part-time program. Currently, it is designed to be a cohort program, so everybody goes full-time. Now, if there's individual situations where somebody can't attend for one class or one semester, that I think we pride ourselves on the fact that we'll work with the students, but most students want to get through the program and get on to their careers. As far as the cost of the program, we think we're a great value because the $18,000 for the 1-year program is the lowest price that I'm aware of in California. If you go to UCI, for example, you'll be paying over $50,000 and their program is during the day, so you would be unable to work. USC is even higher, and because of the semester versus trimester structure, that I believe Fullerton is also a little bit higher. But again, I think we're a great value. We're an accredited university, so your degree means something, and we have lots of accounting firms that come and seek out our graduates. If you're outside the state of California, there is an out-of-state additional tuition and fees, so that runs the price to about $30,000. We also provide a CPA test prep. We use GLIME at this point, so it's an online program. They have the CPA prep material, they have simulations, they have quizzes, so you can actually take your part of your CPA exam while you're going through the MSA program. I'm not sure where you're going to find the extra time to do that, but it is possible.
Some have done it, right?
Some have done it. I give them great credit.
So that's it for the frequently asked questions. Now we're going to open up the floor for any questions that you might have. So you can go ahead and unmute your microphone and let us know if you have any questions.
Hey, I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I'm taking some prerequisites, and then I'm trying to apply for fall 2019, and I won't meet two of the prerequisites. Do you guys offer that during summer?
We do. So we offer the MSA Summer Academy for admitted students that have not completed all of the prerequisites. So that MSA Summer Academy starts end of May every year. So what I would recommend, if you already know you're going to be short those two classes and you want to take them in the MSA Summer Academy, is that you apply early and that you're admitted in time to start those classes end of May.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
And what are the two courses that you're missing?
It's Intermediate Accounting 1 and 2.
Yes, so those will be offered. It'll be Intermediate 1 will be offered in the 6-week session, the 6-week first summer session, and Intermediate 2 would be offered in the second 6-week summer session.
Okay, perfect.
I have a related question. For the summer academy, could you send a schedule what other classes you guys offer?
Sure. So in the Summer Academy, we offer, there are 5 prerequisites. However, cost accounting is recommended and not required. We do offer the other 4 courses which are required: Intermediate Accounting 1, Intermediate Accounting 2, Auditing, and Taxation. So those courses will all be offered in the evenings. We don't have an exact schedule as in, what day of the week, but the courses will be offered either in the evenings after 6 p.m. or on a Saturday.
And then are the prices for these classes during the summer in accordance to the graduate unit price?
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
And so we've changed the courses. Last summer they were 4-unit courses each. This summer they will be 3-unit courses each, which will mean that you'll be spending less time in class and you will be saving some money. So the Summer Academy this year will have 3-unit instead of 4-unit courses.
Okay.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I had a couple of questions. Do you offer any classes during the day? And my second question is, this is coming from someone who got my degree, undergrad degree in a different subject. How do you take into consideration the GPA with undergrad in another subject? Do you only look at business and economics classes? And if I've taken classes after my undergraduate degree, do you add those classes and average out the GPA with the undergrad classes?
Yes, so typically enrollment services will calculate your GPA, and what they will do, they will base it on the last 60 units that you've completed. So if you've completed coursework after graduating, that would be factored into those last 60 units. It doesn't matter what your coursework was completed in. We will look at the GPA for whatever your undergraduate degree was in. And I believe your first question was about the courses and when they're offered. We do not offer any MSA courses or prerequisite courses in the daytime. They're all evening courses to make sure that students that are working full-time are able to be able to accommodate students working full-time is basically what we want to do. So that way students that are working full-time or students that are not working are both able to participate in the program.
Okay, thank you.
Is this thing on? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, I just have a question for, well, my question is what's the deadline for submitting your application for the MSA program?
So the deadline for international students for the fall 2019 is going to be March 1st. The deadline for domestic students to apply is going to be June 1st. So the only thing I want to know, in case those of you that are interested in the Summer Academy, is don't wait until June 1st to apply, because you won't be able to get all the Summer Academy courses. But other than that, if you have all your prereqs and you're applying for fall 2019, you can wait until June 1st to apply.
Okay, and the Summer Academy is just there, that way you can complete your remaining prerequisites, is that correct?
Exactly, yes. So for those that don't have the prerequisites, they can complete them during the Summer Academy. You can also complete them at a local community college, but sometimes it's tough to get courses, so we offer another avenue to get your prerequisites done before starting the program.
Okay, it's because so far I only have auditing set up for next semester, but I plan to graduate by next semester, and I haven't done taxation yet, so thanks.
Sure, yeah, you could do that in the Summer Academy in that case.
All right.
Cedric, if you graduate in accounting, though, from Long Beach, that we would consider you meeting all of the prerequisites. So you wouldn't have to take anything in the summer academy.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
I have another question regarding transcripts. So if I was originally in my undergrad a transfer student, do I have to go back to the original community college that I went to and then get a transcript?
Where did you complete your undergraduate degree?
Long Beach.
Oh, in that case, you don't. If you are an undergraduate from Long Beach, you actually don't have to submit transcripts at all, unless after transferring you've completed any coursework, which is, very rare. So no, if you're an undergraduate from Long Beach, you don't submit transcripts at all.
Okay, so I would just submit coursework that I've taken after graduation?
Yes, so if you say you graduated and you completed some of the prerequisites or any other courses that you would need to send in.
Okay, perfect.
I'm waiting.
Do we have any other questions?
Yeah.
Hi. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question about I guess the bachelor's thing. I'll be finished with my undergrad next spring. So I was wondering, could I still apply even though I haven't officially finished my undergrad?
Yes, you can do that. So you can apply before officially completing your undergrad. If admitted, your admission would be contingent upon successfully completing your undergrad. So basically, if for whatever reason you don't complete your degree, then your admission is revoked. But you can apply in that interim period.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question regarding the GMAT waiver.
Sure.
So is that correct? So if my GPA is 3.0 or above, I could waive GMAT? And plus, do you guys consider work experience?
So we don't consider work experience. Well, actually, Rod, I'll let you answer this one.
Okay, in the answer to the GMAT GRE waiver is if you graduated in the last 3 years with a 3.0 or higher from an accredited university, then we grant the waiver. If you're close, okay, like if you had a 3.0 or higher, but for some reason you went to a small university that wasn't accredited, then we would look at your resume and see what kind of background you had. Our basic premise here is we want to have some assurance that you can do the graduate work. So.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Going with that question, I know that it was mentioned that to waive the GMAT or GRE, the 3.0 to be had to be in business administration or accounting. Is it only those two majors?
Yes, that's
Yes.
correct. Yes, it has to be either business administration with any concentration or business administration with an accountancy concentration.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You mentioned the statement of purpose earlier. So, can you repeat what needs to be submitted in the statement of purpose?
Sure. So really quickly, we can click back there. So under the supporting information, it's going to ask you to submit a statement of purpose, and it's required that you enter something in that box or it won't let you move forward. Basically, this is not something that you need to do for your application, so you will just write, I will submit my video statement of purpose directly to the department.
Or if you mean directly to the department, do you mean like with YouTube or?
Yes. So what you will do is you will submit a YouTube link in the fourth quadrant of the application. So under the question section of the application here, you will submit a YouTube link, and that'll go directly to our department. Basically, the fourth quadrant is the information that's going directly to the department.
And the statement of purpose is just saying, oh, I'll just submit my video in that section, basically. Exactly.
So when over here, you're just saying that you're going to submit the link in the other section.
Okay. This is for Mrs. Smith. Can you explain again about the 4+1 program?
Sure. The 4+1 program is designed for Cal State Long Beach undergraduates. If you have a 3.0 or higher in accountancy, then you can apply to the 4+1 program as an undergraduate. When you get to 120 hours, you automatically move into master's status and you start the MSA program. When you complete the MSA program, and if you've completed all your undergraduate requirements, then you get both degrees at that time. So it's kind of a seamless transition. If you get into the 4+1 program early enough, it's possible to take 2 of the master's classes as an undergraduate and save the graduate fees, but that would, in your case, you're probably beyond that because you're already pretty close to 120 hours, Cedric, since you're in my class. But the idea is to make it seamless. You would not need a GMAT or GRE test. You would not need to go through Cal State Apply. You would just need to talk to Giselle and submit a little application that an internal application to the College of Business. That
okay.
answer.
Just one last question. When's the deadline for the 4+1?
You can do that at any time, but for the fall semester, you still have to do it by June 1st.
Okay, so I think that's all I need to ask for now. I have to leave this session. So.
No
Okay,
problem.
thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
I had a question regarding letters of recommendation. You had mentioned that there's an email link provided to them. Do I just provide the emails that they want to receive? Is it like a form?
Exactly. So we'll go back a little bit. The 4th quadrant of the application under evaluations. In this section, you will put the name and the email of your recommenders, and they will automatically be emailed the link where they can upload their recommendation letter.
Okay, so it's not like I have to find a physical letter or anything?
Exactly. Yeah,
okay.
In this case, you don't have to have the recommenders give you the letter ahead of time or anything like that. You basically would just let the recommender know that they're going to be getting this email with the link where they can upload their recommendation letter.
Okay, and then you guys are on a rolling admissions basis?
That's correct.
Okay.
Do you have any other questions at this point?
Yeah, hi, I had an additional question. So on the note of rolling admissions, do you have a certain number of slots for the graduate program that you are filling as you go, or is it you're just looking at whoever is a quality candidate?
Primarily, we're looking at quality candidates. As soon as we get the application that's filled out completely, that we make the decision and we notify the person, and we keep doing that as long as we have quality candidates. If our class gets too big, and that has not happened yet, but it's getting close, then we would open additional sections for the classes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so that's all the questions that we have. Then we'll go ahead and end the session here. So as I mentioned, you will get a link with a recording of this session, so you can look back on everything. I'll also send you the actual PowerPoint itself with links to the application, somewhere where you can find more information about the application and the actual Cal Apply website itself. So with that, thank you for attending. Thank you for co-hosting with me, Rod.
Thanks everybody for giving up some of their evening. If you think of anything else, feel free to send us an email.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.